Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 17, use flat screens. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, flat screens would be it. The benefits of flat screens have been proved in Hollywood, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the confidence and optimism of greenfield projects. Oh, never mind. You'll not appreciate the confidence and optimism of greenfield till things start going wrong. But trust me, when you finally ship, you'll look back at the code you wrote and recall in a way you can't grasp now how simple everything seemed and how productive you really were. Your code is not as bad as you imagine. Don't worry about changing database providers, or worry, but know that every company who used an ORM in case they needed to switch databases never actually did it. The real problems in your projects are the dependencies you can't control. The engineer who unexpectedly leaves your team at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Learn one thing every day that scares you. Optimize. Don't reformat other people's code bases. Don't put up with people who reformat yours. Rebase. Don't get obsessed with frameworks. Sometimes they help, sometimes they hurt. It's the user experience that matters, and the user doesn't care how you created it. Remember the retweets you receive, forget the flame bait. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. Keep your old hard drives. Throw away your old network cards. Refactor. Don't feel guilty if you don't understand F#. Some of the most productive junior developers I've worked with didn't know F#. Some of the best systems architects I know still don't. Write plenty of tests. Be kind to your keys. You'll miss them when they're gone. Maybe you have a degree, maybe you don't. Maybe you have an open source project, maybe you don't. Maybe you wrote code that flew on the space shuttle. Maybe you worked on Microsoft SharePoint. Whatever you do, keep improving, and don't worry where your next gig's coming from. There's a big world out there, and they're always gonna need good developers. Look after your brain. Don't burn out, never be scared to take a break. It is the most powerful computer you will ever own. Launch. Even if you have no users but your own QA team. Have a plan, even if you choose not to follow it. Do not read the comments on YouTube, they will only make you feel angry. Cache your package dependencies. You never know when they'll be gone for good. Read your log files. They're your best source of information and the first place you'll notice if something's starting to go wrong. Understand that languages come and go, and it's the underlying patterns that really matter. Work hard to fill the gaps in your knowledge, because the wiser you get, the more you'll regret the things you didn't know when you were young. Code in 8.6 assembler once, but stop before it makes you smug. Code in Visual Basic once, but stop before it makes you stupid. Read. Accept certain inalienable truths. Your code has bugs, you will miss your deadlines, and you too might end up in management. And when you do, you'll fantasize that back when you were a developer, code was bug-free, deadlines were met, and developers tuned their database indexes. Tune your database indexes. Don't deploy your code without testing it. Maybe you have a QA team, maybe you have integration tests. You never know when either one might miss something. Don't mess too much with your user interface, or by the time you ship, it will look like a karaoke booth. Be grateful for open source, but be careful whose code you run. Sharing code is noble, but there's more to it than taking bits of your project's folder, putting a README file on them, and hoping if you upload it to GitHub, someone else will come along and fix all your problems. but trust me on the flat screens.
Good evening, Sydney. How are you? Welcome, everybody, to the virtual stage. Now, there is a rule that people apply to live music performances, which is the more cable you have involved, the more likely it is something that is going to go wrong. I did a quick back-of-an-envelope calculation. I reckon we're using something like 150,000 miles of cable to make this show possible. Hello to everybody. We are doing time travel right now. I'm beaming this from 10 o'clock on Thursday morning into the future to Thursday night. I hope all of you had a fantastic 2 days at NDC Sydney so far. We're going to have a bit of fun. I hope you all have a drink. Be prepared to crank up some tunes, make a little bit of noise, because I'm going to do some songs about code. I wrote in assembler, those opcodes used to make me smile. I wrote my Hello World program in 16 kilobytes of RAM. No function calls, no do or for a while. I'd sit all night in rapt frustration, trying new optimizations. Forgot to sleep or eat. I would not admit defeat. Every change caused more confusion, surrounded by my own delusion. Finally came to a conclusion. I'd do a big rewrite. It's high time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 Byzantine. We'll rewrite all the legacy, take it offline. It's gonna compile first time. It's gonna compile first time. Did you have a BBC or a Commodore or a VIC-20? 8 bits wide and slow as hell. Or did you start out on a Unix, a BMS, or a PP? Your own account with email and a shell. Well, it's not like anyone really cares. We all got started out somewhere. A picture and a screen, listings in a magazine. We typed those games in key by key, convinced our code was typo-free. And we knew that eventually we'd do the big rewrite. And we were singing, it's the high time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 Byzantine. We'll rewrite all the legacy and take it offline. It's gonna compile first time. It's gonna compile first time. Now for 10 years we've been running code in PHP and Rust and Node, but that's not how it used to be. When I learned to code, it was a different age. Turbo Pascal was all the rage, and we couldn't wait to install Windows 3. Well, 640K of memory should be enough for anybody, and multitasking code had to run protected mode. You'd work with your Bible by your side, Peter Norton's MS-DOS guide, that you've already worked out deep inside. The big rewrite. And we were singing, it's the high time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 by first time. Dial-up modem straining to upload and spitting out sites as fast as we could code them. Check rise high and rise as fast. Many, many big IPOs. We're gonna be millionaires, don't you know? I guess it was all just too good to last. Well, we thought the web was the promised land, coded our HTML by hand, but when we put it live, it didn't work in IE5. We started to feel like we were cursed. The dot-com bubble finally burst, and then things went from bad to worse. We did the big rewrite, and we were singing it's a high time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 time. We'll rewrite all the legacy and take it offline. It's gonna compile first time. It's gonna compile first time. And then we were shouting out loud, move everything to the cloud and post on virtual machines. Elastic scale to cope with load, infrastructure built on code, though no one's sure what DevOps really means. Well, I sat and I watched the counters climb, wishing I got paid overtime, then the MongoDB failed. I guess it wasn't quite web scale. We lost the whole availability zone. I couldn't get tech support on the phone. That's the point when I wish I had known they've done a big rewrite. And we were singing it's a high time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 bytes at time. We'll rewrite all the legacy and take it offline. It's gonna compile first time. It's gonna compile first time. I did my time, I paid my dues, I did my exit interviews, turned around and walked away. Had a dream, I had a plan, tired of working for the man, and this time I'd do everything my way. I launched the perfect MVP online for all the world to see, working in a new style, fast and lean and agile. I listened to all of their requests, I wrote my code with unit tests, but then one day, you know the rest, I did a big rewrite. Sing with me. Time we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 bytes and time. We'll rewrite all the legacy, take it offline. It's gonna compile first time. It's gonna compile first time. We were singing high time, we reviewed our design. The code behind our system is just 2 bytes and time. We'll rewrite all the legacy, take it offline, and it's gonna compile first time. Thank you very much, Sydney, and Belgium, and Netherlands, and all the other places. So just for those of you who haven't noticed, I'm standing over here holding a guitar right now, so the direct messages in Slack, to see if those are important, I'm going to need to walk over here. and break the illusion and shatter the continuity, just in case there's anything in there that we really need to know about. No, that all looks pretty good. So all you folks out there who are watching and tuning into the show live on YouTube, I can see chat, I can see clap, 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 clap. I'll give you a little tour of the green screen setup we got here later, because there's an educational element to the party this evening as well. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to upgrade my hardware here for a moment. So I'm going to do a song now. You know, NDC attracts developers from right across the spectrum. It's a whole continuum of front-end, back-end, big data, data science, analytics, all these kinds of things. And this next song is dedicated to a special subset, some of my favorite people in the whole, you know, the whole pantheon of programming. This one is for all my friends out there in the wonderful world of front-end web development. It's called Bug in the JavaScript. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. You should be out having fun, but there's one bug left in your backlog, and it's not going out till it's done. Well, you've checked all your database indexes, you've tuned all your API hooks, and you're starting to think that you might need that drink. There's only one place left to look. Oh, la-da-da-dee-da, la-da-da-dee-da-da-dum. There must be a bug in the JavaScript. The bug's in the JavaScript app, 'cause everything else was built properly, but the front end's a pile of crap. Now null is a reference to nothing. Don't mix it up with undefined. And there's zero and nan and infinity, man. Just remember which ones can be signed. And you think that your numbers are integers when you're really in a floating point hell. And your objects are hashes, but when your code crashes, you'll find they were functions as well. Whoa, la-da-da-dee-da, la-da-da-dee-da-da-dum. It was never intended to do all this. They say it was built in 10 days. But it's out of the bottle, it's going full throttle. We all caught the JavaScript craze. Yes, we use it for code that runs everywhere, from the cloud to your mobile phone. And we're sharing a string padding library, 'cause it's better than writing our own. Must be a bug in the JavaScript. the bugs in the JavaScript app. 'Cause everything else was built properly, but the front end's a pile of crap. Now JavaScript's not a bad language, though it's frequently misunderstood. But before you see what you can use it for, please stop to think whether you should. Because just about everything's true here. It's all part of the language design, except zero blank strings, the array of no things, and the end of 1969. Whoa, la da da dee da, la da da dee da da dum. Must be a bug in the JavaScript, the bugs in the JavaScript app. 'Cause everything else was built properly, but the front end's a pile of crap. Thank you very much. I love you really, and I love JavaScript, and I love front-end developers. Everything is wonderful. Right, let's do something now. So there's some seriously old-school technology going on here in the setup tonight. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever abused PowerPoint to the extent that I have. But I'm using, so I've got I got an IoT foot pedal down here that's powered by a Raspberry Pi, which lets me switch camera angles so I can kind of do that stuff while I'm performing with my feet. And that's controlling OBS, and that's controlling Winamp, because it really whips the llama's ass. Because PowerPoint can't play video when it's capturing hotkeys for something else. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Apparently it's something to do with embedding Windows Media Player and that being a good idea. But next up, speaking of Winamp, we're going to do a little something that some of you may find a little nostalgic, reminiscent of a simpler time in the days when programming was real programming and the music came in MP3s and streaming hadn't been invented yet. Because why would you stream when you were on dial-up internet? Why would you download the same song over and over and over again? It's called DMCA. Young man, when did you feel down? I said, young man, you've been browsing around. I said, young man, what's that website you found with those high-def movie downloads? Young man, look at all of these files. I said, young man, you'll be here for a while. You can download anything you desire till your router catches fire. You're violating the DMCA, violating the DMCA. They got everything, you can find it online, download it anytime. DMCA, DMCA. They got new DVDs, special interest movies, Taylor Swift MP3s. Young man, well you couldn't resist. I said, young man, now your name's on a list. I said, young man, got your cease and desist. But you got to know this one thing: no man ever serves this anytime. I said, young man, maybe you'll pay a fine, and tomorrow you will be back online. You'll be downloading day and night, violating the DMCA, violating the DMCA. They got everything, you can find it online, download it anytime. DMCA, DMCA. They got new DVDs, special interest movies, Taylor's with MP3s. Young man, back when I was your age, it was Usenet, not a link on a page, all dot binaries. That was where we would go when we wanted things to download. Napster came along with a splash, all the labels, scared of losing their cash, got it shut down by the DMCA, so we moved to the Pirate Bay for violating the DMCA. DMCA. They got everything, you can find it online, download it anytime. DMCA. DMCA. They got new DVDs, special interest movies, Taylor's with MP3s. Thank you very much. All right, I see we got some folks wandering in off the YouTube recommendations. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the NDC Sydney after party. It's great to see all of you here. All right, so we're going to do a little something now about cryptographic currency, a song dedicated and inspired by all of you brave folks out there who have invested your savings and your pensions and all your stocks in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Monero. And of course, Dogecoin, the greatest currency ever invented by the twisted combination of computer scientists and bankers. If there's two people who should never be allowed to play together. So this is called, that'll do. It's called I Lost It on the Blockchain.
This new currency that's coming out, I can't deny the possibility that it could mean profitability. I did all the work and I shared the proof, but now my power bill is through the roof. Ooh yeah, I lost it on the blockchain. My money's never coming back again. On the blockchain, watch my savings going down the drain. Money, honey, yeah. Ooh, it seemed too good to be true. I found out about it from this guy I knew, told me all about the crypto code behind the dark web and the Silk Road. I signed up online, put in all my cash. Nobody told me it was going to crash. That's how I lost it on the blockchain. My money's never coming back again. Ooh yeah, I lost it on the blockchain. Watch my savings going down the drain. Money, honey, yeah. savings going down the drain. Money, honey, yeah. Lost it on the blockchain. My money's never coming back again. Ooh yeah, lost it on the blockchain. Watch my savings going down the drain. Money, honey, yeah.
Thank you very much, Sydney. All right, so we're going to do a little, we're going to do a tiny little non-musical interlude now. Have a sip of my, so the difficult thing about partying on time zone, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here, and I've had about 4 hours sleep. And the temptation to get out of bed and grab a beer in one hand and a coffee in the other was not small. But there we go. So I don't know if any of you out there have ever been to an event that we call PubConf, which is, without a doubt, and with all due respect to NDC, the greatest developer conference in the entire event calendar. PubConf happens in a pub. Your talks are 5 minutes long. You do not get a clicker. And they are designed to show you the more irreverent side of the technology industry. And I am now, just as a kind of little tip of the hat to PubConf, I am going to reprise for you something from PubConf last year. A little bit of career advice for all of you. Because you see, there are front-end developers, there are back-end developers, there are startup developers, there are developers working in all kinds of capacities across our great and illustrious industry. I need to clip that on. Come on, get on there. Hardware is complicated. This is why I tend to be a software guy. Nice, right. But the greatest developers of all, you know, the aspiration, the thing we all want to be when we finally grow up, which is rare for software developers, is enterprise developers. So buckle up, cadets. Welcome on board. No more hacking PHP to code your way through the Starfleet Academy, because today is the day you are all enterprise developers, and this is how to succeed in the enterprise. So, the first thing you're going to need to know, you're probably used to working on Mac OS, Linux, Windows. Over here, all of the hardware is proprietary. Get used to it. Now, we do have iPads and tablets, you know. The operating systems may be unfamiliar. We have tablet devices. Now, we're not savages, but we're not allowed to connect them to Wi-Fi, so we need to pass them around when we need to share work with people. Even the drinks machines are proprietary. Just remember they use reverse Polish notation, because one of the cadets last year ordered a hot Earl Grey tea. It took him a while to live that one down. Now, let me introduce you to the leader, the chief. He's a bald white guy who wears the same clothes every day. Hang on a second. These are the wrong slides. Could we get someone to fix this, please? Could somebody, what am I paying you people? I have no people. I'm by myself. That's better. The leader, number one, in charge. He's a bald white guy who wears the same clothes every day. Now, he's good. He's the reason most of us are here. You've got to watch out for his facial expressions. If you get a single facepalm, cadet, I may be able to help you. If you get the double facepalm, there is nothing we can do. Then there's this guy, the head of product. They call him number one, probably because he's a streak of piss. Now, a lot of people think he's a little bit sleazy when they first meet him, and, you know, some people might agree with you. Now, you know, this is a guy who is an expert on customers. And sure, he's been out, he's worked with customers, he has spent time alongside them, he knows what gets them excited. But, you know, you've got to remember, this is somebody whose entire career is based on being an expert in usability, and he doesn't even know how to sit in a chair properly. Now, you spend a little time over here in the enterprise, and you're going to end up working with data, because we got all kinds of data here. We've got inland data, we've got replicated data, we've got historical data, we've got intimate, personal data. And once you start working with data, you're pretty soon going to butt heads with this guy, the chief of information security, because InfoSec hates data. As far as information security is concerned, data is just a massive pain in the ass. Now, you are going to get to know all these folks on our corporate away days, where we all get to dress up and go off-site for a day of mandatory fun. Actually, the best time we ever did this was when we did one that was Robin Hood themed, and everyone dressed up as a merry men, except we told the chief of InfoSec the dress code was Michael Jackson. He was not happy. Now, the golden rule of the enterprise, my friends, never have a good idea. A few years ago, an impressionable young cadet like yourselves had a good idea. It was an audacious idea. The idea was to refactor the application to separate the front end and the back end. People were astonished. We didn't think it could be done, but you know what? We did it. I was there the day we went live. It was beautiful. I'd never seen anything like it. Of course, as soon as we'd finished it, we realized the problem. Once you take the front end off, that's where all the sexy stuff is. The back end with no front end, that looks ridiculous. All the people working on that one turn around, they're like, no, we're not doing it the same way. They turn tail and quit. And what happened to the front end after the back end quit? Cadets, you have never seen a software project crash like this. At one point, the deployment got so bad that the head of product tried to manually intervene in the deployment process. Cadets, when you see the head of product getting hands-on, you dump your stock options and you get out. And that's when our cadet made his second great mistake. He called in legal. He went straight to the top, you know. He talked to the chief. He talked to the person on top. But once you involve legal, it starts out as a meeting, you know, just one simple meeting. But then legal bring in some of their people, and you bring in some of your people, and they bring in some of their people. And eventually, you escalate the whole thing until you get right to the top. You go to the very, very chief, the CEO, and that's when you realize the truth. Because the enterprise is just a side effect of the legal team. They have all the power, they have all the influence. You are captive, and it doesn't matter how high it goes, whether you're a cadet or the chief executive officer. Once the legal department get involved, resistance, my friends, is futile, and you will be assimilated. There you go, a little slice of that one was PubConf. I think that was PubConf Kansas City last year. And most of the stuff we do at PubConf, no one would ever put it on YouTube because there are some things that you just don't want people to be able to record and play back later. But that one I thought was relatively fun and, you know, suitable for a family audience. Right, let's do some more music. Let's how we do? Let's have a go at this one here. So I'm gonna do a song for you now, which is first time I've done this one on the live stream. So this is a year for doing a whole bunch of stuff that we never did before. Let me just check my noises. Okay, I've got that one. Yeah, that'll do nicely. So now I don't know if you know this, but Yoko Ono's husband used to be in a band with Stella McCartney's dad a couple of years ago, and the guy who did the voices for Thomas the Tank Engine was there as well. And this is a little touching nerd musical tribute to all of them.
Look at all the data context. Oh, look at all the data context. Entity framework reads all the rows from a database on your machine into a stream. All of the memory you bought so your API wouldn't be slow. Where did it go? All the data contexts. Where do they all come from? All the data contexts. What are we doing wrong? Entity tracker working so hard to detect any changes in states. Intention is great. What's gonna happen when there are multiple threads with concurrent updates? Should they all wait all the data contexts for every new request? All the data contexts we don't know how to test. All the lazy loading, we don't know what it's for. It can't be that important, it's not in EF core. I don't know what you're trying to say. Wish these acronyms would go away. I can't make sense of TLA, FAQ, VPN, TFT, CPU. Maybe they all meant something too. For what it's worth, I hope they do. Y2, KBB, IoT, and SDK, TCP, IP, UDP, and 2FA, RPC, XML over HTTP, ASCII, EBCDIC, or PHP, Philo, FIFO, or FTP. Now the IAM's gone MIA. So say RIP, IPO, and SLA. And at the place we used to work, a new developer joined the team, and he told us all about how to virtualize a machine. The server fans were really loud, and somebody had nicked the screen. So we moved it to the cloud, and now the monitors are evergreen. We all run on a virtual machine, a virtual machine, a virtual machine. We all run on a virtual machine, a virtual machine, a virtual machine. They're still afraid to virtualize in the land of enterprise. Hear the fans begin to spin. We all run on a virtual machine, a virtual machine, a virtual machine. We all run on a virtual machine, a virtual machine, a virtual machine. I asked the girl what she wanted to be, and she said, baby, can't you see? I wanna see my code run on every screen, and you can do something for me. Baby, you can port my app, 'cause multi-platform's where it's at. Baby, you can port my app, and maybe I'll hire you. And if the girl isn't iOS enough, and she said, boy, you don't get this stuff, my data now. Come on and write it on out. You wrote your hello world, and it compiled just fine. Come on and write a little output now. Let me know you're online. Where are you sending your data now? Where are you sending your data now? Where are you sending your data now?
That's a lot of fun to do. I hope you enjoyed it as much. I'm basically just rocking out here in my house. I'm not actually, believe it or not, this stage does not exist. I'm on a holodeck here right now. So yeah, this is me rocking out and streaming it live at 11:15 on a Thursday morning. I'm going to do a couple more tunes for you. Actually, just let me cue something out. I want to share something with you that a bunch of friends and I, so normally when we do this, you know, we get to do this for real. We get to do this live on a stage with a whole bunch of people, all of us together performing. And we can't do that, you know, when we're locked down and quarantined, because the latency just means that the whole thing doesn't work, and it's almost impossible. But I do want to share one little detail. Let me dig this out, because I'm just going to give my voice a rest for a second as well. What are we doing? It's very, very hard to think and do a show and find files on a file system. At the same time, we are multitasking here across many, many different levels. So we're going to go. There it is. That one. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. How long is it since you told a joke? Does anyone like notice that weird thing where it's like right, let me spin up. I'm going to make a new one of those. There we go. That's fine. There we go. All right, so this is a little something that my band, the Linebreakers, actually all of whom have spoken at NDC. You might have seen us on stage last year. This, alas, we could not perform for you live, but it's great and it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, please enjoy Tech Sales.
Go.
Is like a hurricane.
Go.
Life is like a hurricane here in tech world. Deadlines, roadmaps, e-campaigns, all those tech nerds chasing that bonus. Act like they all know tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. When it seems they're headed for that final contract, shady wording never fails. Devs read main tracks, the worst of messes they call successes. Tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. Commission, local markets, they're on a mission, hit those targets. That's the reason they got into tech sales. Commission, global markets, they're on a mission, hit those targets. That's the reason they got into tech sales. Every day they're out there making tech sales. Signing up and lining up train wreck sales. Not fire sales or missing sales, no tech sales.
I can't wait to get out and do that on a proper stage again. It has been so long. But, right. So I don't know if you've seen the very, very important cultural news coming out of Australia, the home of NDC Sydney. AC/DC have a new album coming out. One of Australia's greatest musical exports, one of my favorite bands of all time. And the thing I love about AC/DC is that, you know, they found a formula that works and they don't need to mess with it. Like, if AC/DC was a programming language, they wouldn't be Vue.js. They wouldn't be using, you know, Angular or React. Or actually, if AC/DC was a programming language, do you know what programming language it would be? It'd be classic, simple, elegant, minimalist, something that'll solve just about any problem without you having to worry about a whole bunch of other stuff. So,
W3C, RFC, Jira ticket and a style guide. I deploy with FTP. I run it all on the client side. Don't need Ruby, don't need Rails. Ain't nothing running on my stack. Hardwired for web scale. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the 90s back. I'm shipping HTML, 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 HTML. No logins, no trackers, no cookie banners to ignore. I ain't afraid of no hackers, just the occasional 404. They hating what I do, but that's 'cause they don't understand. Mark it up, break it down, remember to escape your ampersand. I'm shipping HTML, 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 HTML. Shipping HTML, dynamic HTML, semantic HTML. But it's really just Mark
HTML rocks. If you write HTML, you are a coder. I don't care what anybody says. You can do amazing things with static HTML, and the best thing about it is you don't need advertising because you don't need to hire an entire team to manage the infrastructure that you use to manage the JavaScript framework that does the light-de-do. Right. I'm going to dedicate this next one to people who build software and they solve a problem a couple of times. They go, you know what, this problem keeps happening. maybe I could come up with a function that solves this problem. And then they put the functions into a class or a package or a module, and then they take a bunch of modules and they go, I will share this with the world, and it will be called my framework, and everybody can use my framework. And they look out there and go, oh, good, a framework. That's because that's just what we need. This new framework will solve all our problems. And of course, 6 months later, it's like, yeah, we need to build a new framework to migrate the old framework onto the new framework. And so this is for everyone out there who has ever built a framework. It is called, Originally Enough, We're Going to Build a Framework. Oh, by the way, you noticed during that last song, I lost my headphones. It's like we got, 100,000 kilometers of cable here, and the one that went wrong is the one that's literally 2 feet behind my own head. So I need to gaffer tape that. All right, let's do this.
Handlebars hibernate, solar activate, Falcon Flax and Silver Stripe and Typo 3 flow. Agave Pixie has our NDC, code ignites a lithium and PR radio. Raphael, Bobo, Bottle and Tornado, Django, Cherry Pie, and WSGI, Glass Hammer, Web Sphere, Red Bin, Turbo Gears, Albatross, Aquarium, Selenium, and Web Pie. We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another. Sidecar, Tapestry, Maverick, and JSP, Barracuda, Acaram, but Groovy on Grails. Intercal on interstates, Cascade and Hibernate, JDBC, Ruby on Rails. Jasmine, Doctrine, Java Forms Engine, Active Record, D3, Dapper and Velocity, Time Leap, Top Link, Pyramid, Rethink, Aura, Rico, Midori, and Mojito. We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another. Site Mesh, Cymbeline, Enterprise, Java Bins, Hug, Grok, Boost, Click, anything by Telerik, Rango, Dojo, LLBL, Gen Pro, Carbonado, Seaside, Pylons, and Peroxide. Fuse-Box, Flight, Flex, Service Stack, Silex, Carbon, Coco, Ample, and Giotto, Banshee, Symphony, Laravel, Fat Free, Maca, Pekka, Hobo, Juba, and Rialto. We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another. Open REST and Nancy, ASP.NET, MVC, Kendo, Zendo, DBC, and Tempo, Java Server Faces, Entity Spaces, Cappuccino, SpecFlow, Polymer, and JDO, Google Web Toolkit, no need to learn JavaScript, JDK, Code Away. What else do I have to say? We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another. Boilerplate, jQuery, Animate, Mustache, Tempo, Ionic, and Allegro. Bootstrap, Backbone, running on an iPhone. Mobile app is going live, it's built in HTML5. Angular, Scriptaculous, React, Redux, Knockout, Ember. Does anyone remember? Just like in the browser wars, I explore and Netscape for Lodash versus underscore, and I can't take it anymore. We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another. We're gonna build a framework, cause we wanna use one, but don't wanna choose one. We're gonna build a framework, we didn't like the other, so we'll write another.
Thank you very much. So it's quite fun watching the YouTube, the chat stream when you're doing live shows like this. Because Craig has just said, haha, Netscape. And I'm like, is Craig watching the song that I did about 30 minutes ago, which had Netscape jokes in it? Or has Craig just remembered about Netscape and thought, we'll share it with the rest of the group? So help me do a little bit of science experiment. All you folks who are watching this on the YouTube live stream, I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, and when I get to 0, so we're going to count from 0, Craig just remembered. I just want to do a latency experiment. So I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, and then just type hello in the chat. I just want to see who we got and how much latency there is for all of you, and whether there's more latency for Australia, because there is telecom science in here. So you ready, everyone? What do you do? Type hello, but then don't press enter, and then I'll count 3, 2, 1. You all ready? Ready, everybody? So 3, 2, 1, hello. See who we got out there. Right. Hello, everybody. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is cool. We've got like a little global map of people pinging back and saying hello and stuff. So welcome, all of you. I'm having fun. I hope you are too. I have one more left for you. Song about API design by two famous. Actually, I have another one for you. I did have another one for you. Where's it gone? So like I said, I'm running all this off Winamp, which is old school. And yes, it really whips the llama's ass. But every once in a while, that's it. I thought there was something missing from the arrangement here. So I got 2 more for you here. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm either going to have coffee and start my working day, or I'm going to have a beer and hang with the NDC Sydney folks on their after-party call. We'll be agile, respond to change over following a plan. So, I'm going to do a song for you now. That's about working in a big company. The kind of company that you already been introduced to over the course of the session this evening. So this is, please do not say microservice. Why can't I say microservices? Did you know that if you look in the mirror and you say microservices 3 times, Jimmy Bogart appears and slaps you until you realize that it's not a microservice if it uses a shared database? Try that. It's called Enterprise Waterfall. We don't share our integrations. We don't use no source control. The dark sarcasm to production. Thanks, Adam. We check our emails, then go home. Hey, coders, email and go home. All in all, it's just an enterprise waterfall. All in all, it's just an enterprise waterfall. We don't test our integrations. We don't use no source control. We can't deploy things to production. We check our email and go home. Hey, coders, email and go home. All in all, it's just an enterprise waterfall. All in all, it's just an enterprise waterfall. waterfall. All in all, it's just an enterprise waterfall. Yeah, my fingers have jet lag. The rest of me is okay. They're a little bit wobbly. Happy birthday, Ebenezer. You know, I could do happy birthday for you. I don't actually know how to play happy birthday. I bet if we play happy birthday, Warner Brothers will take the stream down for licensing. Let's try it out. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ebenezer. Happy birthday to you. Hey, if you'd told me, I'd have sent you a cake, you know. All right. Let's wrap this thing up before my voice blows out completely. Gonna do a little song now. One of my favorite songs, one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite subjects in technology to talk about, which we're just gonna mash up horribly into one wonderful musical spectacular dedicated to everybody who's ever gone, oh yeah, no, integration's easy, we have a REST API. This is for all of you, and you probably don't. Come on. Good computer.
Your API is a hall of shame.
Yeah, you give REST a bad name.
This integration is going to hell. You promised me JSON and sent XML. You say it works in a RESTful way, then your errors come back as 200 okay. Whoa, it's no surprise.
And there's the cable again. I gotta get this thing fixed.
Data don't even deserialize. You give REST a bad name. It falls apart and we take the blame. You give REST a bad name. A bad name. Broken methods, missing docs. Updates fail cause the database locks. Breaking changes every time. Your every release takes our system offline. Whoa, it's no surprise. Method names in URIs. Your data won't even deserialize. You give REST a bad name. It falls apart and we take the blame. You give REST a bad name. A bad name. It falls apart and we take the blame. You give REST a bad name. Your API is a hall of shame. You give REST a bad name. It falls apart and we take the blame. You give REST just a bad name. Your API is a hall of shame. You give rest a bad name.
Thank you very much, NDC Sydney. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. So yeah, I hope some of you are having a beer. I noticed, so you know the thing with the hello on the stream, I just noticed little people dropping in hello 3, 4, 5 minutes later. I don't know if that's just really, really bad internet latency or they kind of rewinded it and they're watching again. But thank you all of you for hanging out. This has been a tremendous amount of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. The folks who are at NDC Sydney, check out the Slack. We have a call running where people are hanging out and having beers and chatting and stuff, and I'm going to join you in there very shortly for a drink and chill out, and then I need to try and reprogram my body clock again. But thank you, all of you. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Thank you to the Southern Cross Cable Network and Maria and Brusa and the hundreds and thousands of miles of undersea cable that are making all this amazing stuff possible. And you know what? It is no substitute for being there in some sort of sweaty dive bar with plastic pints of beer and all of you. We'll do that again soon. But in the meantime, thank you, NDC. You've been awesome. Take it easy.